time. Done. Hello. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're joining us from. My name is Brenda Unu. I'm super excited to have you here today. And with me is my amazing guest. My amazing guest, Jacqueline. Jacqueline, you need to introduce yourself and tell us about yourself. So go ahead, please. You're
Hi,
welcome.
everyone. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me. So, my name is Jacqueline Clovis. I am a certified life coach. I help people thrive and find purpose so that they can live a life of joy and fulfillment. I
Mm.
offer purpose coaching, mindset coaching, childhood consulting, and well-being coaching. I'm very
Oh,
passionate about
nice.
really, yes, I'm just so passionate about just helping people really flourish as they live their life, as they go through hurdles in life, and just also helping children reach their full potential as well. So, yeah,
Okay,
that's me
awesome.
in a summary.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So nice to have you on live with us here today. And it's the month of love, and we've been talking about love and relationships. And I find your topic very interesting. So tell me, what did you have in mind when you picked that topic? How do you want to take this today? Tell me.
Yes, well, I think it all started from my own personal journey, reflecting on myself and how I love better because I have goals for myself and I live a purposeful life. And
Okay.
I just wanted to share this with everyone so that everyone can really love deeply. And it all starts from loving yourself, setting meaningful goals for yourself, and living with purpose. So I really
Mm,
wanted to talk about that and share that with people so that people can actually see how it all starts from you. Yeah.
awesome, awesome. I love it. I mean, I found that, many people just go through life one day at a time, not really having any direction. They just like wake up and anywhere that they face is direction for that day. And then they wonder when they see other people who are doing amazing things, really living life direction, and they wonder, how can I be like them? And now today you're telling us that if you are able to achieve this purpose, are able to, direct your life and set goals properly, you can actually love better. Please explain this. I'm really intrigued. I'd like to know exactly how to tell us.
Yes.
How
So
does it
it
work?
all starts from asking yourself, where am I? And like, where am I going? Who am I?
Hmm. Hmm.
And one of the jobs or the functions of a coach is to really bring out what is already in you. So you
Right.
already have all this treasure and God-given greatness in you. And as a
Hmm.
coach, we work side by side with you to really help you bring it out. So when you start asking yourself, and one of the things, I'm sure you're also a coach, so you already know this. One of the things we
Mm.
do is ask people questions. A coach
Right.
asks you powerful questions like, who are you and where are
Mm.
you going? And that is where you start going deep into your self awareness, into searching, into trying to understand yourself.
Right.
For me personally, when I started asking myself this question, I actually got to a point where I was able to say, wow, like there's actually a block in your life. There was a point in my life where I was feeling really sad and I felt like I
Mm.
wasn't where I wanted to be. I didn't have what I wanted, and yeah, for years now, let's say 8 years now, I've been praying for a child. And at that point in my life, I was just stuck at what I didn't have. And that was how I
Right.
defined myself. And that's how I saw myself. And then it was after I heard different people's stories, and I heard that some people would actually you pray for a child. And like somebody told me
Mm.
she prayed for 6 years, she has children,
Mm.
and now she just wants them to grow up and leave the house. And somebody else told me, oh, I have two children, and right
And I
now
can't wait for
I
them to
want
get out the
more.
door.
Yeah, no, someone else said her own story was different. She said she has two, but all her friends have more, and she feels like
Gosh.
she wants more. So I just felt like,
Oh
oh
my
my gosh,
goodness.
what's going on? So is it
Mm-hmm.
why is there this constant? comparing ourselves, and why is this happening? Why can't we just
Mm.
get to a point where we just say, I am happy now, I now have what I want? And that was where that
Right.
sparked my, that made me start thinking about this question. And then I got to a point where following the other lady's story and how she said, oh, she accepted the will of God in her life, it really made me really realize that, oh, I have to accept the will of God in my life. This is a block because I studied psychology and
Mm-hmm.
I've always wanted to be a life coach, but there was just a block. I had a lot of self doubt. I had a lot of
Mm.
just, not people would, because one thing I can also do is like just from your handwriting, I can tell your personality type, your temperament.
No way. No
Yes,
way.
and I remember doing it for my manager once, and she was just like, "Oh, you should really be using your psychology." And but I didn't believe in myself, and the people around me as
Mm.
well were just discouraging me. So I just didn't go for it. But after this
Right.
experience, where I accepted the will of God in my life, and I just
Mm.
stopped defining myself with this limiting story,
With what you
focusing
don't
on what I
have, and
didn't
rather
have.
looking at what you do have.
Exactly. Everything just
Mm.
changed. And it is almost like everything opened for me. The door just opened for me. I had the courage to
Mm.
start my coaching. I started being coached myself and I discovered
Mm.
amazing things about myself. I discovered words that motivate me. I discovered
Mm-hmm.
my motivations. I discovered my strengths. All these things. I was just like, oh my gosh, I've not been, I wasn't thinking about this. And
Yeah,
once
yeah.
I started getting to understand my temperament, and there's so much more about temperaments that people don't understand, that you can actually, from your temperament, you can discover your ideal conditions, your motivations, your contributions just from knowing your temperament. There's so much that can be done from that can come out of that. And after doing all these things and taking all these different assessments, right now, I've taken like almost 11 different assessments. So when it
Oh,
comes to
wow.
self-awareness, when it comes to self-awareness, like my cup is so full, like I just understand myself so well. And I noticed
Mm.
that when I was dealing with people, like because I used to work in a nursery, I've worked in early years for 10 years, but now I
Mm-hmm.
manage as I coach and I also manage an after school club. And I noticed that when I went back into nursery after I had become this new person who knew who I was, I knew my motivations,
Yeah.
I knew how to motivate myself. I didn't have to wait for the manager to motivate me. I had goals for myself when I was going to work, targets for the children that
Mm-hmm.
were, because we had key children at that time. I had targets for the
Okay.
key children I was working with. Everything was, I had
Mm-hmm.
my focus and where I was heading. And I could just see that I was just a better person to be
A
around, like
changed
even with my
person.
colleagues. Yeah,
Wow.
it just changed me. And even with dealing with the children, it changed me as well. I remember a situation where there was this child who was always angry and frowning. And at first, it just kind of made me feel very uncomfortable because I was just like, this is just a child. Why are you always frowning? He was
Mm.
3 years old.
Mm.
And I spoke to myself and I said, you are the adults in this situation. You are the adults. You have to take charge. And I
Mm-hmm.
kind of stepped into that. And then I took charge of the situation by, I think it started by curiosity, trying to understand why is he doing this, what's going on. And then bringing that in. And I realized that what he really wanted was independence. He was fighting for
Mm.
independence. He didn't want us to force him to, like, he wanted, so I would give him like, I would empower him, like, okay, it's time to wash hands, do it yourself.
Okay.
And in
Mm-hmm.
fact, what I've discovered about these children that want independence is that you can actually say to them, if you need them to do something, what you need to say to them
Mm-hmm.
is, do you
Can
want
you
me to
help
help
me do
you?
this?
Exactly. Do you want me to help you? And when I say to him, or should I help you? He'll be like, no, no, no. And he'll really wash his
No.
hands quickly. So
Mm-hmm.
then when I was able to hack that, and it all started from
Mm.
curiosity and knowing myself and knowing that this is happening, I could feel how I was feeling, how I was reacting. I was aware and I could see, oh no, I
Mm.
have to change this. I have to shift this. And that helped me in that situation. And there was a point where he would even be smiling at me. And I was so surprised. I was like, wow, you're now smiling. And so that's just how it affected me in my work life. And in my home life, it affected me. It just improved everything because my husband
Okay.
is a very cheerful person. He loves to joke. And there are some times
Mm.
that I am just tired and very quiet. And I realized that all I needed to do was communicate and just say, okay,
Okay.
oh yeah, I
I'm tired now.
understand. And just smile and just, And it helped me because I now understood, oh, this is how you understand the world and operate. But you have to still
Mm-hmm.
bring in love and you have to communicate with people, And sometimes I want to be quiet, but I try to be quiet with a smile, now. But before I
Mm,
might just be quiet
mm,
in the corner, but now I try to be quiet with a smile so that you know that I'm alone. I want to say alone, but I'm not lonely. I'm not angry.
right.
I'm just sitting on my own now because I need to process my thoughts and it's just something
And
I need
all
to
of
do.
this, all of this came from knowing yourself better, right?
Yes, yes,
I love what you're saying there, especially how, just finding out about yourself and how you process things just took you away from, the thoughts of, oh, this is what I don't have, this is what is missing in my life, this is what is missing, and then
yes.
able to walk into, every season is important. And that's what I always say. That's why I like having this kind of conversations with women. Every season in your life is important. And in every season, God wants to teach you something. He wants to use you for something. And if you sit down and wallow on what you are missing as against what you have, I have one coach that used to say something. He says, you are not limited by what you don't have, but what you have that you don't use. Do you see?
Beautiful.
Many of us sit down and think, oh, I don't have this. If I only had this, I would be able to do this. If I only had this, I'll be able to do this. I'd be more happy if I had this. I'd be happier if I had this. I'll be more productive if I had this. But guess what? You are not limited by what you do not have. You're actually limited by what you have and you're not using. So your whole process of discovering yourself, and finding purpose and all of that helped you to find joy in living, even despite what you did not have. Is that what I hear you say?
Yes, 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 yes.
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. And I just want to encourage everybody out there that this is not the time to sit down and say, oh, I don't have this. This is what I don't have. This is what my friends have. This is what I don't have. Because I used to be in a group of friends, right? And where I was the poorest of all of them, like big, big women, all high flying jobs, some of them multinational jobs, some of them, really high flying jobs, and they were able to travel and do all kinds of things. And I would just sit down and think to my life that, hey, if not for my husband, I cannot pay for anything. I didn't have the kind of designer bags that they had. I couldn't afford the wigs. And I really couldn't, even if we go out to eat, I almost couldn't afford to pay for my own meal. And for a while, I used to feel a bit somehow, but I just realized that I'm in this circle for a reason. And I need to feed off the energies of these women and build myself to get better, get encouraged. I personally believe that whenever we see people, it's an opportunity to know that this is possible. Do you see? So when
Yes,
I'm
yes.
seeing women doing big things and having money to do what they want, and they're not relying on their husbands, I realize that, Omo, you're missing out something, girl. That means you are also capable of this. And so that's how I learn from everybody that I meet. And I just look and say, okay, once I see something, I'm like, this means this is possible. That's the next goal. So tell me about how you help your clients, when they want to find purpose or they want to set goals to move their lives forward. What is your typical process and how would you encourage our audience today to what can they take out from this conversation to go and start for themselves?
Yes, I'll say with my clients, I take them through a framework, which is
Okay.
it's uncover, discover, grow, and glow. So we try to uncover
Mm,
what their gifts is, their unique gifts. And what I find is like some people have like a major theme. There's one major thing that is unique about them
mm.
that is
Stands
kind of
out.
seen in the story of their life. So some people is
Mm,
beauty, some people is design, some people is
mm,
communication, some people
mm,
it's creativity, and
mm,
some people is service. And it's just amazing how all this is in you, but you just need
mm.
that extra support to really bring it out so that you too
Bring it
can
out.
actually see this beauty from that you have within. And so
Right.
that's why I really help them to take them through this process to really help them discover what this gift is, or even some people have multiple gifts, but we choose the main one they want to work with. And then
Mm,
we work together to find out how they can grow that gift so that they can glow with that gift, share that gift to others, love better with that gift, serve
mm,
others, and because when you live like that, live a life that is, trying to serve other people, trying to think about how other people are doing, and just trying to
mm.
contribute and be a gift to others, you enjoy life more. So for
Absolutely.
me, in my journey, it's from just living a more purposeful life that helped me feel happier. When I say, oh, okay, today I'm going to wake up in the morning and my target today is to do this, to do that, and to bring joy to the children I work with, or to bring purpose to the person I'm going to be coaching today. And it just makes me happier. But if I woke up thinking, oh, today I'm looking for who is going to say something nice to me and who is going
Mm-hmm.
to compliment
Mm-hmm.
my dress and who is going to appreciate me, I'll just
You
be
will wait
sad
long.
and a, and a victim. So I've just seen that that's just something that has helped me and helped a lot of people I work with when they've shifted, when I've helped them shift their mindset from just thinking about, oh, what is happening? Oh, this is happening to me and this is about me,
Mm,
to how can I
mm.
use my gift to serve
To
and
help.
to bring love,
Mm,
then it just changes everything. And I actually just
mm,
came across a short snippet of a CNN interview where this lady was actually saying how when we are in our creative state, when we are doing things, when we are, trying new things and being creative, that we are actually
mm-hmm.
less anxious, that you cannot be anxious and creative. So creativity
Mm.
is actually the solution for always thinking
Anxiety.
about, yeah, anxiety. So try to create something for somebody else, think about somebody
Mm,
else, what you can do for somebody else. And so that's really what I try to do in that framework. And then
okay.
for everybody, anybody who wants to start, living purposefully, just start by asking yourself, who am I and where am I going? And one quick
Mm,
way to help you really think about this deeply is you can do an exercise where you just imagine that this was your last day.
mm,
Imagine this was your last day.
mm,
What will people say about you?
mm.
What would be your legacy? What would you have done? And when you think about
Right.
that, it kind of makes you realize, oh, there's so much more I can do. There's so
I
much
can be
impact I
doing.
can make. Yeah. And yeah, it just really, that's one way you can think about it. That's something you can reflect on.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I mean, well, I personally do what I call the 70-year-old self. And I say, reflect and think about it. For some people who 70 is far for, you may think, 70, okay, I'm still just 20, oh, please leave me. So if you're really young, just add 20 years to your life and think 20 years ahead and say, what would I like to be on my bio in 20 years? For example, if I was called to speak at an event and they were going to read my bio, how would my life look like? What would I have achieved in terms of family, in terms of, work, in terms of business, in terms of spirituality, my health, my well-being, all of those things. Where am I going? Now, when you can have that picture and you can look at it and say, okay, this is me in this 20 years, this is the blueprint I'm working towards for the next 20 years, then it would have a direction. Because really, purposeful life is about direction. Where are you going? What's your focus? What are you working towards? Because when you have a direction, you can clearly know what you would not do and clearly know what you would do. So when opportunities come, you can say, okay, this is not going to further my goal. This is not helping my vision. So I can say no. If something comes like, oh, this will lead me towards where I'm going. So yes, I totally would do it. And it doesn't matter whether you're paid or not paid, because it's going to further where you're going, you are able to say yes or no very clearly. And that's why direction, goals, purpose are really important for everybody to find and find early. Now, I found that a lot of young people are struggling with, oh, I don't know. I went somewhere one day and this young girl, she was what, 19 or 20, and and in the room full of women that our average age was maybe 40 plus. This 19-year-old girl stands up and says, oh, I'm very worried. I have not found my purpose. I'm looking at her like, Auntie, hey, you are 19. Hello. Your purpose is not lost. Do you see? And it was a simple matter of saying your purpose is found in the doing, right? You just simply
Yes.
do what you like to do. Simply do what you are able to do, what you're passionate about, what you're skilled at, what you are gifted to do. You just keep doing. And in doing it, you find your purpose. Because here you were just simply trying to make something of your life. Like, okay, so I cannot just sit around here waiting forever, right? Children will come when they want to come, and there's nothing I can do to hasten it up. So how about I just keep on living? And then as soon as you stood up to make something of yourself, here you are, right? Now bringing joy to others, now bringing fulfillment to others. That is purpose. Do you see? You would never have known that was right there, looking in there, and maybe the direction of your life taking this turn, making you have to wait, making you have to question things, is what led you there. Because God is amazing. You see, the way He does things, we always sit there and think, oh, why me? Oh, why not me? Oh, why this? And but at the end of the day, it all adds up together. Bible says everything works together for our good. Everything. It's not something so everything. And a friend of mine used to say something very profound. She would say that even your mistakes are being factored into your destiny. Like God knows that you make that mistake. He knows that you mess up in that place. He knows. So it's been factored in. So there's a path, right? When you make a mistake, you say, okay, no problem. You know how Google Map redirects, redirecting. So this girl, she's getting there. She's a joker. He will redirect. He will find a way. See.
Yeah.
So it would all add up. It would all work. We just need to learn to trust, learn to, open up and say, okay, God, at this point, I just leave me. I'm just waiting for your direction because I just can't anymore. I don't know my way. But we cannot sit on our hands. We can't sit on our hands. We have to find something doing. And in doing, the clarity will come. In doing, the purpose will become clearer. So I just love that. Now we're getting some questions in the charts. Okay, somebody's asking, how do you combine contentment and goal setting?
Mm.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
Yeah, that's a very good
That's
one.
a
That's a
very
very
good
good one.
question.
Yes. So I always tell people be happy where you are while you are
Mhm.
working to where you want to be.
I love it.
So so for me, my own life, I just had to come to a point where I found joy where I am right now. So I find
Mm-hmm.
joy in the fact that I'm alive, I have all
Mm-hmm.
these talents, I'm able to do
Mm-hmm.
what I really want to do, making just even little steps. I celebrate the little steps. If today I say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I'm coming to this life, that's something I would celebrate. So
Right.
you celebrate the little steps along the way. So just find something joyful right now. The
Mm.
sun on your face, walking
Mm.
down, being able to have family, being able to laugh, being able to
Mm.
smile. Little things, some people call these glimmers, the glimmers of the day, the little things. Find joy in those
Mm.
little things while you are setting your goals. So
Right.
you can have this big passion of, let's say you want to write a book. You set goals every day. Every day, I'm going to write 3 pages, one chapter. You set goals. So that's how it is. So you find your joy is that right now, I'm grateful
Mm.
for, always think about what you're grateful for. And that's why some people have gratitude journals or
Yeah, I love it.
something. Yeah. Or at the end of the day, one thing I try to do is write down 3 things I'm grateful for. So there's always something to be grateful for. And so that's where
Right.
that joy of thinking, that gratitude, and then still
Mm.
setting goals. So
Mm.
I know that, yeah, so they can work together. Yeah, you can be content and still
Absolutely.
want more for yourself. As long as we're
Absolutely.
here, we want
Mm.
to make progress. And as we're making progress, we're growing. We need to grow. Man needs to grow.
I agree.
So
I
it's a
completely
need.
agree.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I mean, the Bible says we should be fruitful and multiply, right? So, how do we bear fruits? How do we show fruits? We have to keep on doing more. We have to keep on, and as we go for more, we set goals for more. So sometimes, in fact, this year I heard for the first time that you could set spiritual goals about how many lives are you going to win for Christ. I'd never thought of it.
Oh,
When
wow.
I would set spiritual goals, if I was okay, I'll read my Bible every day, or I will say my rosary every day. I'd set those kind of things that I thought I could do. But then I heard somebody preach about that, and I thought about that. Oh wow, okay, now that's a new one. And this is really what the whole Christian life is about, right? To live in such a way that your life glorifies God, and people will come to God, giving glory to God for your light shining. So setting goals is part of life. We can't sit on our hours. I mean, I explained a little bit when I said having a vision gives you direction, gives you focus, unless you know what you can and cannot do. Because if you don't stand for something, you fall for everything, right? So, but setting goals is now a step down from that vision. So you have the vision. How are you going to achieve it if you don't set goals towards it? Do you see? So that 20-year away self, let's say 20 years to your age now, or your 70-year-old self, if like me, you are above 40, I can target 70. You see? So when I say I have to set goals, otherwise I will wake up and the years will be gone and I would have done nothing. So goals are generally showing you how to get to that vision that you want. So in as much as we're content with our lives, we have to be content. The Bible teaches us to be happy in everything, give thanks. We give thanks, we are content, we are thankful to God for wherever we are, or it is okay to want more. And God wants to give you the nations. You see, He said, I will give you the nations. He will give you, we exchange nations for you. So He wants to give you everything. So it's okay to. And you know what? I think somewhere I read that the Bible says that God will give you the desires of your hearts. Where are those desires from? It's from Him now. If I say that I want to have so much money that I'll be able to fund crusades, as in, you know, fund schools for children, feed the poor, do all those things. It's money now. So if I set goals to get more money so I can do those things, it's all for the kingdom. It's all for the good. So it doesn't mean that I'm not content with what God has blessed me with. I have food on my table. I have money for my children's school fees. I can even afford to go the occasional trip. I'm okay, right? I'm content. But I really do want more because I want to be able to, fund big, big things for God. Do you see? So it's okay. So the contentment means that you are not jealous of other people. It means that you are thankful for where you are. It means that you are seeing the joy in the little things, right? And you are not wallowing in the things you don't have. That's what the contentment is about. Yeah. And then the goal setting is that we're going to sit down here now. We're going to move to the next level, right? So that is, and it just gives your life direction. And that's what I personally think. So yeah, thank you for your answer. That was really, really spot on. And Marie Renee, that was a good question. You got us on our toes right there. I love it. So yeah, I can't see any more questions in the chat. If anybody have any more questions, please let us have them while I find my own questions for Jacqueline. Jacqueline, tell me, um, so when you said that setting purposeful goals, I mean, setting goals help you to love more. Were you talking about loving oneself or loving other people? I need you to throw a bit more light on that, how the connection between loving, and setting goals. Like, please explain to us.
Yes, so really, it's like your goal is you have this dream in your head, or you have this desire for yourself, or and then you set a goal towards it, and your goal
Mhm.
kind of summarizes the action, what steps you're going to take towards this. And if
Right.
what I have, like, I guess this is my own opinion or my own observation. I've just
Right.
noticed that when I've spoken to some people in their
Mm.
maybe in their 50s that feel
Mm.
like they didn't go towards the goals they wanted,
Mm.
they feel unhappier because they're always thinking, oh, I really wanted to
I
do this.
missed
Oh, but I
out.
didn't believe in myself. So that kind of made me realize that, oh, when I'm 50, I want to be able to look back and say, yes, I did what I could. And
Mm.
and then in that kind of situation, it will make you kind of resentful about other people who are doing those things because you stopped yourself.
Exactly.
And then it can
Mm-hmm.
also make you kind of discourage people. And then when you look at it, sometimes you question some discouraging words, and you realize that, wow, the reason you're discouraging me, there's no real reason. It's because you
Mm.
now go deep into it, and you realize, oh, because you didn't do this, or you
I
were
didn't
not
do
able
it
to do it.
myself.
And so that
Mm.
can also affect how you come across as well to other
Mm.
people, because you stopped yourself, or you didn't allow yourself achieve,
Mm.
this greatness in you. And so you
Mm.
can start finding that you're kind of, either resistant, or you're irritated every time you see people who are going for their goals, or you discourage them, or you say discouraging words. So this is how
Mm-hmm.
it can
Mm-hmm.
affect you. It can stop you from loving them how you should love
Mm.
them. So that's why every
Mm.
time you feel that you're in the presence of somebody and you're feeling
Mm.
uncomfortable, always question that
Where is
discomfort.
this
Always
coming
ask
from?
yourself, where is this
Mm.
coming from?
Why am I
And
jealous?
yeah, exactly. And if it's jealousy, ask
Mm.
yourself, what is it that I want that this person has?
That
And what
right.
goals can I set today to achieve that thing? So, how can I
Mm.
change this jealousy into inspiration? How can this person inspire me? Even if this person
Mm.
is younger than me, this person, it was
Mm.
brave and confident enough to do this thing and to
Yeah.
go for their goals. Or even sometimes people might say, oh, look at this person, they are setting up a YouTube channel. And it's just like sometimes it's that they wanted to and they don't have the courage to. And it's just
Right.
like always
Instead,
question
pull
your
her down instead.
yeah, so it's like ask yourself where is this coming from and how can I change this into inspiration? So that's one way I've noticed or I've observed that us not achieving our goal or setting goals for ourselves can affect how we love people. And then
Mm,
just going back to the first example I gave was when I for myself started saying, okay, this is who I am, and now I understand myself. So
mm,
therefore, how can I set goals for myself that in such a way that I am still loving, even if I might
hmm.
be introverted sometimes or want to be quiet. And so my
Yeah,
goal is okay, when I'm quiet, I smile. I smile because I still love these people, but at the moment
yeah,
I just don't want to talk. I smile or
I
I
know.
communicate, or I even the communication one is an ongoing thing. I have to keep on working on it. And but I just keep on reminding myself these are the tools in your toolbox. So because I've set goals for myself, because I know myself, I'm able to go to the tools in my own toolbox that are suited for my personality type. And so everybody's personality type, you have to have these two different tools in your toolbox. If you feel you're
Absolutely.
somebody that comes across very like harsh on people, what you need in your toolbox is gentleness and patience. And, so all of us need different things. So for
Yeah.
me, knowing that has helped me to love people better. And
Mm,
also just setting the goal for myself that because one of my values is family happiness. And so I'm
mm,
from a large family and my husband is from a large family. So every time I always try
mm.
to like prepare myself. So I set goals for myself. This is how I want our interactions to be. I want everybody to be laughing, smiling. And it's just a goal I set for myself. So if we're having a
Mm,
family gathering and somebody wants to like start an argument, I always try to go for the peaceful route and just keep all of us happy, smiling, and okay, what
right.
can we do? How can we support this person? What can we do? So it's all
Mm,
part of, yeah, it all comes from just setting those goals, and the goals are based on your values, how you see
right.
being the best version of yourself. Who am I? Who do I want to be? And how can I
Yeah.
make steps to be that person? So yeah, so those are
Yeah.
some examples.
Okay, amazing. Amazing. I really like that. I mean, and here I was thinking to myself that, oh, it's not, certain goals are just a bit, but as you were talking, it reminded me of the goal, one of the goals I set for myself this year. I find that I'm very outgoing, right? I'm an extrovert, but I found out that I'm not, I have a few very deep friendships, but I want to have more, right? I want to make more efforts with my friends. So I'm the kind of person that is always the one that is being checked on. I don't remember to check on people, and it's very bad. So this year I set goals for myself that I'll purposely look out for those that have looked out for me. So I want to make a bit more effort in terms of that. So I actually did set goals and I set tools for myself by setting alarms, you see. These
Wow.
alarms to say, okay, call this person after this time, call this person after this time, and all of that. And today is my friend's birthday. I'm here at her house. I got off from my house and came to her house. I said, look, this is the year of change. I cannot be as I used to be because we used to everybody coming out for me, doing things for me. But now I want to give a bit more this year. I want to be a better friend. And so I think I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So
That's
yes, and that's
amazing.
what goal setting can do for you. And that's why as we were speaking, it just occurred to me that, oh yeah, my goal has helped me to love better. So yes, 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 let's go. So
Yay, I'm
yeah.
so happy for you.
Yes, I have another question. Says, how do you set smart goals? Can you make mindset goals smart goals? Mindset
Interesting.
goals. Okay,
Yeah,
that's a
so
question.
so yeah, mindset goals is really about the kind of mindset you want for yourself. And I
Mm,
always encourage people to develop a positive and growth mindset where
mm-hmm,
you are positive, but you want to grow. Because what you find is
mm,
some people they like the positive side, but then they don't set
mm-hmm.
goals for themselves. But
Don't
you
come and
have
give
to,
me.
yeah, it goes together. You have to be positive and have a growth mindset, a mindset that
Mm,
wants you to that where you're seeking to grow. And this growth
mm,
mindset is also open to learning and teaching. So it's
mm,
learning and teaching you. So you're open to going to workshops if you need to, webinars if
mm-hmm,
you need to. You're open to reading about the topic in your relationship that you're struggling with. You're
mm-hmm,
open to learning, and And so, yeah, so it's very important. So basically, yes, you can set smart goals towards the mindset you want. And you can
Mm-hmm.
say, okay, yes, I want to be more open. I want to be, friendly, or I want to be more organized. And so you can say,
Mm,
okay, or I want to have a positive mindset. So there are ways you can make it specific. Positive in what way? And this is how
mm-hmm.
journaling helps us, because if you're journaling, you'll be able to see where negativity shows up in your life. The negativity
Mm,
might actually be in work, or it can be with family relationship, or it can be with yourself. So when you journal up
yeah.
and you're able to see the pattern, and you're able to say, okay, I need, my specific goal is that I want to have a mindset that, sees myself as a valuable person. I want to stop being so critical when I'm talking to
Mm,
myself. So you make it
mm,
specific, measurable,
mm-hmm.
in the sense that you say, okay, how am I going to measure this? You can score yourself. So I actually made a Thrive planner, because I came up with a method called the Thrive model, where I help people develop a growth positive and growth mindset, and actually
Mm,
just thrive in their lives by just looking at thoughts. The T is for thoughts, the H is for health, the R is for
mm,
relationships, I is for interior life, V is for virtues, and E is for education. So helping people. And
nice.
then in this planner, it has a tracker that actually tracks your mindset. So you're able to see how you're doing. So for me, I actually track myself every day to see where
Wow.
I am. And so this is the thing, because you cannot improve what you do not measure. So that's why it has to be
True.
measurable. So I track
True.
my mindset. I give myself a score on every part of the Thrive, on the T, the
Okay.
H, the relationship at the end of the day. Then I give myself a
Mm,
score. Then I track myself to see how I'm doing. So I've noticed
I
that
love it.
if there's a day I have a big argument, that can actually affect my thoughts, my mindset, that can, so I now see how some
Mm,
things are linked and how they affect other parts of my
yeah.
my well-being. So I'm very, very careful, and this is
Mm,
why you have to prioritize as well in your life. Your core relationships have to be solid, and you have to
mm.
nourish these relationships, because that can affect
They
you in
just
other
affect
parts.
everything else.
Yes, so you
Yes.
have to be very intentional about that. So yes, so this is a way of making it measurable. After this, you can contact me and get
I love
the
it.
planner, and then that's being measurable. Then the achievable, you make it achievable, you break it down. So you want to do this
Mm,
big amazing thing of changing your mindset to a positive mindset that actually
mm,
sees yourself as a child of God, and somebody who is lovable, and somebody who does not have to be. For example, there's a thing that's very common where people are afraid of rejection and abandonment. And it all starts
mm,
from loving yourself and knowing I'm a child of God. God is with me, and I don't have to be afraid. He's with me. And
mm,
when you start building that, you can say that's your target. How can I see myself as a child of God? That can be
mm.
an achievable target. These are the things I'm going
Right.
to do. The Bible passages that talk about being a child of God, stories that talk, so that's something achievable, and you make it short, simple. That's
Mm-hmm.
something achievable, and then realistic as well. It has to be realistic. Sometimes we we look online and see different things, and so you have to make it realistic to your situation.
Right.
How can I'll for example, you might just have for example, I was working with a mom, and her schedule is very tight. She only has 3 hours in the day where her son is not, her other son, her older son is in school. So she's with her baby.
Mm,
And then I said,
mm,
in reality, that those 3 hours, because the baby is there, then let's break it down into 1 hour of productivity. So in this 1 hour of
mm,
productivity, what chore can you actually do? What can be done? So that when you break
mm.
it down and make it more realistic, then it's easier to handle, and you don't have to feel
Yeah,
overwhelmed and angry with yourself at the end of the day. So you might think you
absolutely.
have 3 hours, but in reality, you have 1 hour. And how can you maximize that 1 hour? So that's one way of making it realistic. Then time bound, you should have a deadline. So for me, I have
Yeah,
monthly goals. So I know, okay, at the end of the month, I have
that's
to
my
review my
deadline.
goal. So you break it down into weekly or monthly goals depending on your situation. And then you look,
Mm,
okay, how is my mindset? How is my positivity now regarding how I
mm,
talk to myself? I have been reading this Bible passage all this throughout this month. I have
Mm.
been, doing it at a certain time. 5 o'clock is when I usually I'm free, So bringing everything together, that's how you can set smart goals for your mindset. So you have to start by
Mm-hmm.
choosing the kind of mindset you're working towards and then setting goals. And also I have
Setting
an
the goals.
assessment to help people discover to assess your growth mindset, see where you are. And from there
Mm-hmm.
you're now able to set goals to improve your growth mindset. So that's also one way. So always start from finding out, discovering where you are first so that you know what steps you need to take. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. So I have another question. Let me read it very quickly. It says, how do you manage new relationships in terms of meeting new people and setting boundaries and still being amicable and friendly?
Mm.
That is, how do you manage new relationships in terms of meeting new people and setting boundaries and still being amicable and friendly? Hmm.
Yeah, that's a very good one. So I think when it comes to meeting people, always enter with curiosity. So when you're going into, let's say you're going to an event and you know there are going to be different people and you want to make friends, go in with curiosity, actually trying to find out who they are, what they're interested in. So that's
Mm-hmm.
really a very helpful thing that has even helped me as well. When
Mm.
I started understanding myself and understanding how I might come across. So I started going in with curiosity. And
Mm.
I got inspired by the children I was working with, just seeing how they play and make friends so easily. They
I
just
know.
play, and I was just like, okay, let me go in with this childlike curiosity and just say, okay, I just want to understand, I just want to know you. They just
Hmm.
want to genuinely know the other child, and they just
Yeah.
want to play with them. So that going in with that curiosity is very helpful. And then when it comes
Okay.
to setting boundaries, I feel like when you're just meeting somebody, you don't really know yet what boundaries you're trying to set. You're just meeting the person,
Mm.
so it's like you're going with that open mindset. It's like you're giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. You're just going, okay, I'm just meeting friends. Then is when
Yeah.
people now start doing things that you now start putting in the boundary, really. So it's like when the
Mm.
person, for example, proves that they're not trustworthy or they don't have your best interest, then that's when you kind of start saying, okay, let's start putting in the
Mm.
boundaries.
Mm.
And so I think that comes after you have met the person and you've kind of
Yeah.
built a friendship, and then you now
Yeah.
know where to put boundaries. Like, okay, this person actually calls me during dinner time when I'm with my family. You have to
I
explain to
know.
them, communication, like, this is not a good time for me. I still value our friendship, and bringing that, you can be amicable because you're saying, I still value our friendship.
Hmm.
However, like this time
Please
that you're
give me
calling me
time
is not a
for.
good time. Yeah. So it's how
Yeah.
you communicate that shows that you're being loving in the relationship. So I always tell people that they should this is the acronym I share. Cool. So be curious, open, outspoken, and loving. So that's where the
Mm.
outspoken comes in. You have to be outspoken about your boundaries, because imagine if you're calling somebody and they're not picking and you don't know why. How does that make you
Mm.
feel? You're angry,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I
then
tell my people at work all the time, don't just leave people hanging. Somebody calls you, pick the call, and if you can't pick the call, send a message, and explain why. And so what you said is very profound about, letting people know what your boundaries are, letting people know okay, this is my family time. I mean, I have some friends that I know. There's one of my friends, you can't call her before 9 a.m. That's in, don't bother. You can't get her. She's not gonna pick. She doesn't even go near her phone before 9 o'clock. So she wakes up in the morning, she deals with her family. As soon as her children are out the door, she goes into her quiet time and she does not touch her phone till 8 to 9. So unless there's literally fire burning, you can't get her. And even then, you may have to call the husband to call her or something. Do you understand? So we've understood it. No matter what is happening, whatever the urgency is, you can't get her before 9 o'clock. Everybody just move on and call the other person. Do you see? So she has set that boundary and everybody's fine with it. And we that love her, we've taken her for it. And that's the honest thing. Those that love you will accept your boundaries and honor them. You see, people that don't accept your boundaries, they don't really care for you. So You should be able to communicate your boundaries lovingly with respect, and then those that love you enough will respect them. And that's what really matters. So feel free to be open, like you said, to be curious like children, and open and making new relationships. But when it comes to times to set the boundaries, do not feel any sort of way, because the truth of the matter is that people will treat you the way you show them that you want to be treated. So if you leave yourself open to be walked all over on, by all means, people would walk over you. But if you tell yourself that, okay, this is important to me, they will honor it. And in fact, the next person that opens themselves up to be called all times of the day will not be vexing. Is it me that people can be calling? Why didn't you call her? Because she told us she wasn't available. You are. So set your boundaries, and people would honor them. So I love that. Thank you, Thrive with Eka, for that question. So Marianne asked another question here. Marianne asked the question here. Says sometimes life situations can affect your goals. What would you say to someone who is struggling to achieve goals, but life situations interfere with her achieving them?
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, so I think one thing that is always important is to plan in pencil, knowing that God is
Mm.
the, He's the one that knows what's going to happen. He's the one that
I
knows the
love
big
that.
picture,
Plan in
you know.
pencil. Mm.
So yeah, you plan in pencil. So yes, you have this goal, but you still know that you know, I mean, you're going to do your best. So you do your best and you leave the rest. So
Mm.
yes, you do
Mhm.
your best as much as you can, but
Mm.
sometimes not every goal, like we don't achieve every goal, but you
Yeah.
just keep on trying. So I guess that is in the category of doing your best and leaving the rest as long as you've done your best. And there's one quote
Mm.
I heard from Les Brown. He says that all you can do is all
Mm.
you can do, and all you can do is enough. But
It's enough. Oh,
make
that
sure
it
you're
is
doing
really
all you
all.
can do. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I love it.
Um,
Make sure you have truly done all. And what I would say is that, I've found this in my life to happen, that sometimes, life really happens, because that's really the truth. Life happens. Part of what we do to help ourselves is to have accountability. Now, I have some friends, a group of friends, and that we keep ourselves accountable. So whenever life is lifing, like I beg, I can't come, we set goals, but please, I can't even be bothered. I'm stressed out and everything. There's somebody that checks in with you at the end of the month to say, where are you with that goal? By now, from this spreadsheet, you're supposed to have been at XYZ. What happened? So if truly life has been lifing, you say, I couldn't meet up. This and this is what's happening, but here's how I plan to cover up. And so you have encouragement, somebody listens to you, you're able to rant, you're able to cry, whatever, and then you can move on because somebody checked in with you. But if there was nobody checking in with you, you had no accountability, you'd be like, well, I cannot come and kill myself, as we say in Nigeria.
yeah.
You throw your hands up in the air and then you forget about your goals. So that is what I found to be the best, the most one singular, most important thing to help you, get through life issues, because they're never done. They would always happen. Life always throws things at you. But when you have people who care enough to keep you accountable, just embrace them with love. In fact, sometimes I want to throw away this, my friend. Like, don't stress me. I cannot. Okay, I'm not doing the goal again. Cancel it. It's a lie. She's like, you must do it. And like, it's not me that told you I want to do the goal. I'm not doing it again. Oh, yeah, leave me alone. Mm-mm. But no, you must do it. And I think that it is love that makes people want to keep you accountable. And so, in as much as you don't want to burden yourself and kill yourself and be burnt out, but you must also learn the place of not being complacent. So when somebody checks in with you, you can also learn to say, oh, okay, I'll try again. I'll try again. And it was accountability that made me write each and every one of my books. Every time I start to write a book, I start with a cover page. I just do a cover, put the book title on it, and the name, and I post it somewhere. When I post it in this my friends group, they just go like, let's go. So when is this one coming out? And I cannot afford not to write it again. If I say I'm not doing it again, they say it's a lie. Where is that book you say you were writing? I said, okay, is it not me that said, I'm not writing again? No, sorry, ma. You have to write the book. Okay, what are your challenges? Tell us. Okay, you cannot write. Okay, can you do voice notes? Can we get someone to help you type? Can we transcribe? So
Mm.
you start to see, suggestions coming out, and that is on with every single part of life. So even if you say, okay, oh, I wanted to write this exam and I'm feeling so stressed that I don't want to do it anymore. Okay, why? What's the issues? What do you need help with? Can we help you? Do you need to get a maid? Do you need to get a driver to take off load from you? Do we need to help you with this? Is there something that we can do? Okay, do you need someone to read with you? Do you need an accountability? You just have to see ideas come in that helps you and motivates you to try again. Because if we are left alone, the human body does not want to try. It does not like stress. Do you see? The human body, the human brain is like, please don't kill me. I like the familiar. Just leave me with the familiar. So when you start to strive out of the familiar, the body will betray you. The body will fight you to keep it and say, no, what are we doing here? Mm-mm, this is not, this thing is too hard. It's too stressful. Please, can we just lie down here? Do you see? But the more you keep on fighting against your natural tendencies, against your body, that's how you excel. I mean, I remember the crab story of the bucket of a group of crabs always inside in a bucket. When one wants to climb out, the other ones drag them down. That's how the body struggles with you when you want to fight out of your normal distance. But what you need is friends or coach or a system that keeps you accountable to your goals. And that's how we're able to, you know, get it, regardless of what life is throwing at you. So that was just my addition to what you said about that. So thank you, Marianne. I hope you answered your question. Oh, okay. I don't see any more questions. Are there any more questions? Anybody want to type any more questions? Or Jacqueline, anything else you want to share? Okay. Somebody has brought another question. She says, in general, do you think marriage keeps you accountable? Hmm. What do you think? I will answer after you. Do you
Well,
think
in
marriage keeps
general,
you accountable? Mm,
yeah, as you said, in general, yes, it does. Yeah, for
mm,
me personally, it does because,
mm,
like, yeah, my husband is very he will tell me he's outspoken, so he'll say, "Oh, do you know that you've not done that, or this has not how?" He will just tell me,
mhm,
and I
mhm.
think like also going back to like just going doing this personal inner work has helped me to give him the space to say what he needs to say and
Right.
just accept
And not
it
take
and
offense.
improve. Yes, yes. With the growth mindset, it's like you think, okay, oh, how can we improve
Mm,
on this and all that? So we talk about it, and I say, okay, what do you suggest? So approaching it with a growth mindset has
mm,
helped me to know, okay, this is how we can make it better. So that's I would
mm.
say it does help you to be yeah, there is accountability because there's someone who loves you and is with you all the
Yeah,
time. So he knows you very well and is able to really give you constructive feedback that
I
you know that
know.
you, yeah, he actually tells you, yeah, this is, and you would know, you can't disagree. If you're trying
You
to be
can't
honest with
hide.
yourself, you know, you can't disagree because you're like, yeah, this is true. This is
This person is
literally
seeing
my
you.
weakness. And you just said it, you just got it right, So
Absolutely.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I think in general, marriage does keep us accountable, especially if you're married to a good person. And I want to believe that you have chosen a good person for yourself. For me, but sometimes as women we have coconut heads, right? So we tend to, I think it's the familiarity that makes us look down on our husbands and think, "Oh, what do you know? Leave me alone, please." I remember that I was guilty of that. I got married to a fantastic man. In fact, I'm still married to him, but in the beginning I used to think, please, what do you know? Please don't stress me. Anytime in terms of that, please, please. And guess what? How the Holy Spirit humbled me when I started to pay money to coaches, like pay heavy, serious money. They would tell me exactly what this guy has been telling me for years. As in, every time I will have an eureka moment. I'm like, oh, but this is what my husband used to say. I now realized that I had a prophet in my house. I had to go back with, sorry, I'm very sorry. Please forgive me for commonizing your wisdom. Now I listen with my 2 ears. Anything he says, I'm like, okay, sir, I believe this is the voice of God speaking to me. So I listen seriously, like, and he does keep me accountable. He's the one that reminds me that you said you were going to do this. Where are we with this? And I always sometimes I'm like, sir, please, can you please mind your business? Don't stress me. I just want to relax. But yeah, they're absolutely there to keep us accountable, and we should also keep them accountable. It's a two-way street. Marriage is one of the most beautiful partnerships that God created, and it is one of the best ways to keep accountable, especially if you're married to a good person. If you're married to those kind of men that say my wife must not have more money than me, or my wife must not start to work, have a big job, or my wife cannot go to school a higher degree than me, these are not the kind of people we're talking about. So those ones is prayer and fasting that will help you. We can't help you. We've already chosen your husband. So we just encourage you to pray and fast for God to change his heart. For those of us that looked well and married well, yes, married typically should keep you accountable. That is what I believe. Yeah. Anita, I hope we answered your question. You wouldn't want us to go today with the questions. Questions are coming. But yes, I've really enjoyed our conversation here today. I hope you have enjoyed yourself too, Jacqueline. And our audience seem to have enjoyed you because the questions they just don't want to stop coming. And I'm
Mhm.
like, at times, okay, yes. So they said thank you. Anita says thank you. Marianne says thank you. So they did get their questions answered. So we have really had a very nice conversation today. I would admit that when I saw the topic, I was thinking, hey, God, where are we going to go with this? Where are we going to go with this? I was like, okay, because I'm used to keeping it open and saying, okay, let's see how it goes. I'm very pleased with how we've it's absolutely a very lovely conversation. I'm very pleased with where we've taken the conversation to. And I want to thank you for coming on today. I know you're a very busy woman, and I mean, I know how hard it was for us to schedule this. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for making it
Oh,
down today. Thank you for blessing us with your wisdom and all of the framework that you shared and all of the tips. I mean, it was such a lovely conversation indeed. I'm really thankful. So tell us, how can we know you? Where can we meet you? Social media? How do we get your Thrive book? Tell us, how can we know more?
yeah, first of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here. You
You're
can
welcome.
send me an email at Jacqueline at determined to achieve.co.uk, or you can follow me on Instagram at determined to achieve underscore.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then just send me a DM and I'll tell you how you can get the planner. Yes.
Okay. All right. Well done. Thank you so much. Is the planner available on Amazon as well?
No, not on Amazon at the
Not on
moment.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 So get it on Amazon so that we can find it from everywhere in the world. But yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming today. These conversations are called Women's Matters. They come to you every Tuesday by 7 p.m. WAT, and they're a product of the Women's Growth Academy, a community of women who love God and who are growing in the strength of one another. Yes, she's typed it, determined to achieve underscore. Thank you, Marianne. Marie, so it's really all about being just interested in talking about things that women need to help them become better, and the conversations that people hardly have and people shy away from, more or less. But we just try to throw light on them just to build the total woman who is loved by God, knows that she's loved by God, and wants to be a blessing to her community. That's really what our vision and our focus is. So thank you so much for coming again. And see you same time next week, Tuesday, where you can join us for another fantastic edition of Women's Matters. Until then, I'll say good night.
Good
Oh,
night.
before you
Thank you so
go,
much for coming.
Jacqueline, give us one last final word. Final word. If you want us to remember only one thing from this conversation today, what would it be? Final words.
Wow. If I wanted to remember only one thing, I would say live a purposeful life. It is so
Mm,
worth it. It is so worth
mm,
it. Not only are you using your God-given gifts to the fullest, living out your
mm.
potential, you're also being a blessing to other people. You're also being fruitful by using your gifts. And you're also inspiring other people because when people see you using your gift, they feel, oh, I have a gift too. I
I
want to
can do
use
it
my
too.
gift.
I
So
love it.
yeah, and how Les Brown says it is like you give people permission to use their
Shine
talents
their
or use
light.
their gift by just you using yours. So yeah, start using your God-given gift today.
I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming and thank you for the lovely conversation. Have a good night, everyone. See you next Tuesday.
Thank you for
Goodbye.
coming. Bye.
Bye bye.